Hey guys, Joanne here with Newegg TV. I'm here to do an overview on this Rosewill BLACKHAWK Blue Edition mid-tower computer case. This is the official case for BlizzCon 2013, and I did the black version of this case back in July of 2012, so if you're curious, go ahead and check that video out. This case has a steel body, some plastic construction, and it measures 8.35 inches wide, 19.89 inches tall, and 20.28 inches deep. As you can tell at the front, you get some blue borders, some nice blizzard blue colors all around, even extends to the feet and along the top edge as well. Up at the front, you get plenty of mesh ventilation and 3 5¼ inch drive bays, as well as one 3.5 inch drive bay. There is an included adapter inside for your 3.5 inch drives. And I'm gonna go ahead and remove this panel. That means I gotta push this case out a little bit. So just grab the bottom here. It comes off quite easily. And as you can tell, lots of blue. I thought it was a extra touch for them to put blue for the honeycomb. So you can kind of see it on this side. It looks kind of cool. Oh, you also get some dust filters here. And here's a look at the two included 120mm blue LED fans. They come with large honeycomb ventilation. Look at these, these are huge. I generally see them like about this size. And you also get a mount for an additional 120mm fan here, where the metal plates are for the 5 1/4 inch drive bays. However, if you decide to only use the top bay for an optical drive or another 5 1/4 inch drive, then you can go ahead and use this for the 120mm fan. But of course, if you don't, you can just push them back and forth to pop them off. Oh, one more thing is that you see these two screws here? To remove the top cover, take off these two screws, and there are additional 2 screws in the back that I'll show you so you can remove this top panel. On the side, you get a V-shaped window. It's rather dark, so you can't really see into the components, but it is a cool shape. And next to that, another pre-installed 120mm fan is mounted diagonally. This is a side intake, so it'll cool the area of your motherboard, specifically where your cards are. And actually the front, didn't mention, these are front intakes, in case you were curious. Now on the rear, you get 3 grommets here, 2 grommets here to thread your cables through, or your water cooling tubes. Another pre-installed 120mm rear exhaust. That's not LED. The side is not either. And knockout for your input-output shield for your motherboard. 8 expansion slots, some more honeycomb ventilation here, and a bottom power supply mount. On this side, there is a mount for a 92mm or a 120mm fan. This is to cool the area of, on the back of your motherboard, specifically where your CPU is and the surrounding area. However, the fan you wish to include is max 18mm thickness only. It won't fit the standard 25mm fan. In this section at the top of the case, you get your large round power button, reset button, 4 USB 2.0 ports, 2 USB 3, and of course your standard headphone and microphone jacks. Next to that, we have something cool here. It is a hot swap dock for your 3.5 inch and 2.5 inch drives. And what's cool is that they've included this cover here for you, so it helps protect against dust or any other crazy elements you have swirling around you. So let's take a look at the top of the case, but before we do that, let's go ahead and remove these 4 screws that I mentioned earlier. This will be a quick process. You need to be careful when removing the top cover because the front panel connectors are connected to this area here, so do not yank or pull very hard. Now, on the rear here, these 2 screws need to be removed. Earlier, I tried to see if a 240mm radiator would fit at the top, and it does not appear to be the case as spacing was an issue. For example, you couldn't fit 2 fans up here at the top if we wish to install the radiator beneath it. So once the screws are removed, just go ahead and pull on this end until it gives, just like that. There we go. But like I said, be careful because the cables are attached here. And I'm gonna go ahead and tilt this so you can get a look at the top. The top also has large honeycomb ventilation, and you get a pre-installed 140mm top exhaust. Also blue LED like the front fans, and you can install either 2 120s or 2 140s up here at the top. You just go ahead and press this back down. There we go. And move along to the bottom. So, at the bottom of the case, get these nice blue feet as well as some rubber pads here to help absorb some of the vibration as well as improve airflow because of the height. Also large honeycomb ventilation at the bottom. This is the area that where power supply sits, helps cool, and you also can mount 2 140s or 2 180s here at the bottom. However, if you wish to mount the second fan, you'll need to remove the bottom cage. There are 3 cages in there. You can remove or reorganize all 3, and here are the thumb screws that you'll need to take off to remove the bottom section. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the thumb screws for the right side panel, and we're gonna have a look-see. So here, let's go over this dangling thing here. You get a 3-pin connector as well as Molex with pass-through for your top 140 blue LED fan. Knockout for your aftermarket cooler. Rolled edges, great, so you don't end up cutting up your fingers when installing. And you get plenty of tie-down points to organize your cables, as well as these rubber grommets here to thread your cables through, keep them neat. And these are not flimsy, which is great because I hate it when they pop out and I gotta pop them back in. But moving on, you get about ½ inch of space behind the motherboard tray to help organize all of those cables. And here's a look at some of your drives. You get 6 of them, but I'll go into more detail about the drives in just a little bit. However, I wanted to talk about, so I'm just gonna go over the accessories in this section so I can show you how to set up your hard drive cages. So in this bag, you get a motherboard speaker, so a couple of zip ties, as well as some motherboard standoffs, and you also get a padlock right here to lock the side of your case, and some other mounting screws. What's this? You also get a notice on how to install your power supply with either the fan facing bottom or top. Awesome. And of course, your user manual. Who can live without this one? And especially if they're more helpful on how you can install everything. There's a page on here. There we go. Here are the 5 types, 5 ways you can install your hard drive cages. You can either have all of them in there, remove the top one, the center one, the 2 top ones, the 2 bottom ones, whatever configuration you decide to choose. Now finally, for a look at the interior. Whoop, dropped the screw. So here's another look at the side fan, the side 120, with its 3-pin connector and Molex with pass-through. This is side intake, once again. All right, so on the inside, here is another look at your rear 120 exhaust. Its 3-pin connector does not come with a Molex like most of them do. And tilt this so you can take a look at the top 140 blue LED. Before I go over the front panel connectors, going to tilt this way. You get a Velcro strap for keeping your power supply in place, especially if you're transporting, in this case, possibly to a LAN event or just your friend's house. And you get some rubber pads here a little bit elevated feet for where your power supply sits, so it does help improve the airflow a bit as well as reduce vibration. And this case is compatible with micro ATX and ATX motherboards. They've included the standoffs for you already for ATX boards. And let's go over the front panel connectors. I'm just going to remove this twist tie, unbind it. So here are the 3-pin connectors as well as Molex with pass-through for the front two 120s. And this is the Molex for power and SATA for the hot swap dock at the top of the case. Of course, you get the power reset and LED plugs. What else? You should get 2 USB 2.0 connectors. Of course, you get audio. And finally, 20-pin USB 3.0 header. I do like how most of these cables are sleeved in black, which is great because it's not unsightly inside your beautiful black interior. Now, moving along on this side, here are your 5 1/4 inch drive bays and the adapter for the 3.5 inch drive. It's a toolless design. Simply push to the left, slide to the left, and lift. Below that, your 6 3.5 inch drive mounts. I'm just go ahead and take one out and put this one back properly. There we go. So these are plastic mounts, trays, and they're for your 3.5 inch drives as well as your 2.5 inch drives. So you get 6 total for 3.5 inch and 2.5 inch. Now, these cages, there's a section here, here, and here. They are all removable, like I said. The bottom cage requires you to remove thumb screws down at the bottom, as well as there are screws on either side here, Phillips head, I believe. And same thing with these 2 top cages. Just remove the screws on either side, and there are thumb screws on the right side of the case. You can just take off the panel to remove these screws. Now, one last thing, of course, clearance. So for the graphics card clearance, you get about 11.8 inches here with the hard drive cage installed. But without the cage, you get 16.5 inches of clearance for your video card. They've even included this foam padding here for where your power supply is, so it helps reduce vibration, and it's great because I don't see it in most cases, but it's just one of those extra little things that they throw in that just makes your case function better. Now it's time for the weight demo. This is the fun part. Well, actually no, the case LEDs are fun too, but this case weighs just over 21 pounds, so it's still fairly light for a case, a mid-tower. I think that's pretty standard, right? However, of course, I have seen lighter mid-towers that are like 13 or 14 pounds, but this is easy. For a couple of case videos, I didn't light up the LEDs, but I noticed that one of you mentioned that you actually liked the demos for the case LEDs, so I've gone ahead and brought them back. So in the front, you get your 2 120 blue LED fans. And on the top, I'm just going to tilt this, you get the 140 millimeter blue LED fan. That wraps up our overview on this Rosewill BLACKHAWK Blue Edition mid-tower computer case. I'm Joanne, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe to our Newegg YouTube channel. Thanks for watching Newegg TV, and we'll see you next time.